This week in the field, not giving up when your planned shoot just doesn't work out. Hey everyone, I'm Scott Davenport and welcome to In the Field. Thanks for joining me today, and if this is the first time you're checking out one of my videos, I hope you like what you see and you'll stick around for more. So this one, I kind of dug into the archives a little bit, went back to early January. I'd taken some footage of, my planned shoot, which was a long coast walk in La Jolla. So it's a trail that follows along one of the edges of the bluffs there. And I had this idea of being able to capture one of the points of land as it reached out into the ocean and kind of faded off into infinity. Well, it basically didn't work out. And I didn't even keep the behind the scenes footage from it because it was really completely uninspiring. I couldn't get a good angle on anything that would really show the land in a type of flattering way. So I was kind of bummed. Sunrise was approaching and I really didn't have anything going on. So, almost packed it in. I'd walked back to my car and thankfully I'd parked in an area where there was another point of land that wasn't too far away. I said, all right, let me walk down there and check that out. And glad I did. I'm glad I didn't give up. And that's really the tip of not just packing it in and try something else. Because I found these pretty cool sea caves and ended up with some pretty nice shots. And I did keep a bunch of footage from that part of this outing. So let me show that to you here, and then I'll come back and kind of wrap things up. Well, the morning shoot's mainly done, and the sea caves were really interesting. I think I'm going to go back down after the light comes over the ridge behind me, just to see if it's going to catch any morning light. The direction of the sun will kind of parallel the cliff face, and so that might make some interesting light. I will need to navigate around a group of birders. Looks like a workshop. I'm looking over at them now, that are dotted along Goldfish Point here. But yeah, it's been a pleasant morning. The sun's about to peek over the ridge there, and I'm cutting the sky out of the shot entirely. It's going to be washed out, framing up kind of how you see here. I haven't dialed in settings completely yet. Right now we're metering at 1/6 of a second. I want to slow that down a little bit. Starting to get some surf. High tide was a few minutes ago, and it's starting to fill in these spaces in here. I want to get some nice swirl going on in there. Drag the shutter a little bit. So put the bracket on and just dial in probably a 4-stop filter. And then when that light comes over, it gives this cliff face a nice orange and yellow glow. We'll be all set to fire off a few shots and then get to drier land. I changed up to a vertical mounting because I was getting too much dead space. You look at this composition here, and there's just too much water and not enough about the caves. So the sun is just starting to peek over that ridge. A few more minutes, we'll have some nice light. I have put on the 4-stop filter, get a little drag on that front water. Once the sun comes over, it'll probably end up being about 1/2 second to 1/4 second exposure. Well, that was an unexpected surprise. I can only imagine what those sea caves are going to look like at sunset. Of course, I'm sure Goldfish Point will be a heck of a lot more crowded at sunset too. Comes with the territory. So at the end of this, I did come away with a few photos that I was happy with, and shifting vertically, that worked best for me on this particular scene. And when the sun finally came up over that ridge, putting the sun just out of the frame and getting a bit of that starburst coming into the scene, I really liked that final photo. I shared that earlier on my website, on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. You've probably seen a couple photos from this outing in other videos or posts of mine. And I'm going to dig something else up for in post later this week to show a particular technique. Maybe that's that starburst one, and if there's anything special done there to make sure that showed up pretty nicely. So all in all, glad I didn't give up. Glad I had a plan B. And then I was re-inspired after, having, I'll say, salvaged the shoot. I went and did some other scouting as well for some future locations. So, what started off as a pretty pessimistic day turned into a good thing simply because I chose not to just pack it in. And that's going to do it for this week's In the Field. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, please let me know somehow. Contact me through my website, comments on the video below, however you'd like to get a hold of me. I'd love to hear what's on your mind photographically. Got questions, please ask. And until next time, my name's Scott Davenport, and happy shooting.